For today, we're playing Skull and Bones with the Steam Deck, and we'll start it off at 720p at the lowest settings. So like before, the recording on Windows is pretty annoying, so I'm forced into playing at 720p instead of 800p, but regardless, the performance should be quite similar, so it's all good there. Alright, here we go in the settings, guys. There we are with graphics. No upscaling yet. And there we go. So first things first, this game uses the Battle Eye anti-cheat, which makes this game unplayable in SteamOS. So you're forced into using Windows if you do want to play this game on the Steam Deck. Okay, finally into the game, and so far in the high to mid 30s on this ship. That is not bad at all, to be honest. That is pretty good actually. The game is stuttering though. It isn't the smoothest 30s experience. But maybe with a 30 FPS cap, this can be far more stable. And the game froze. Okay, now it's back. Perfect. Now I am kind of worried on how it's going to run on the main city area. I think it might fall down into the 20s there, or even below it maybe. But free roaming so far, it's doing mostly fine, again in the 30s and the 40s, and it stuttered a couple times here and there. Now we have no FSR active right now, so obviously if we enable that and use a 30 FPS cap, it should be a far more stable and smooth experience. Which we'll try in a second. Now for the graphics, they look fine to be honest. It's a small screen, so playing at the lower presets isn't too bad. Obviously it could look better, but I think it's fine. Shooting this guy, wow, we got some major stutters there. Again, it kind of makes sense, we have no upscaling going, so it's going to be kind of tough for the Steam Deck. Now let's head on back to the main city, let's see how it runs there, and then back out, enable FSR, and try it all again. And almost there. There we go, that's close enough. Let's get off. There we go, now it's falling down again into the mid-20s. It's not too bad surprisingly. It's sitting in the mid-20s and the high 20s on average. The game is stuttering here and there as well, keep that in mind. But for a city hub, where you're going there for quests and doing crafting, it's not too bad as is. Okay, let's pause it here and go back, enable FSR, try it again. And now going into the settings and graphics, we go to FSR 2 and let's use the balance preset. So far in the high 30s and the mid 40s, that is a good start, but I am looking at a wall here, so let's turn back around. Okay. Yeah. Much better. It's now sitting in the low 30s and the mid 30s. And for the stutters, it's still there, but not happening as often, which is nice. Cool, let's go back to the ship and see how we do on that. And then afterwards I want to come back and use a 30 FPS cap and see if we can actually wipe out any of the stutters that's happening right now. And so far in the mid 40s / the high 40s. Again, a decent FPS bump, but regardless beforehand, this area was already playable, but I do want to see if the game freezes or stutters at all, like it was before. That guy's level 10. I am good with that. I'm getting attacked. Please! What is that aim? What was that aim? Well, there goes the ship. The game stuttered one time in that one little section, but overall it was okay. Regardless, let's back out and use a 30 FPS cap, come back in. So far, it's doing pretty decent. I am getting some stutters here and there still. It isn't fully gone, but yeah, it is quite smooth for the most part. Stable 30 with some stutters here and there. So yeah, I think for me, I would target 30 FPS for this game. It's definitely far more stable and far more consistent. Again, it does stutter here and there, so keep that in mind. It isn't fully smooth at all times, but it's definitely much better at 30. And wow, surprisingly out here, we are still sitting near the 40s. And for the stutters, it feels about the same as the low preset, which is nice. Now, do I see a massive improvement in our graphics? Not really, but it's still pretty decent, so I'm not going to complain about it. This guy's level 2. Perfect. Let's go after him. And level 2 means free loot for me, hopefully. And we'll see how we do during the battles. Alright, one stutter there. But yeah, overall not too bad. Still holding the high 30s and the low 40s. Back at St. Anne, and yeah, it's the mid to high 20s / the low 30s. The stutters are still there unfortunately, but it's not too bad honestly. So 30 FPS cap here shouldn't really help us, to be honest, because we are falling below 30. But regardless, it does a decent job at playing it in this section. Again, it's not perfectly smooth, keep that in mind, it does stutter, but again, it's just a simple hub, so it's really up to you if you really care about this or not. Alright, 30 FPS cap, and okay, it is actually doing better here, but the FPS can easily fall down below 30, and when it does, the game does stutter, so that's the main issue. As you can see, right here, it does fall down, and the stutters kick in. And yeah guys, look at this. A stable 30 so far. Again, we had like the 40s here, slash the high 30s. So we have plenty of headroom to play at 30 FPS, which is nice. So the main issue here is the main cities. That's where you're going to see the stutters, or the heavy stutters, and the FPS dips. If you're fine with that, then the game is playable, obviously. If not, then you can stream the game, or play on a different platform, I guess. And finally, here we are at the high settings. There we go. So far, in the open sea, we can still get 40 FPS. That is crazy. Now, I think realistically playing at a mix of medium and low, or the low preset, is the smart thing to do with the Steam Deck. But the fact that we can actually get a decent frame rate at the high settings, it's pretty cool. Now, let's go back to the main city, St. Anne, which is back here, right? Yep. It's gonna be a while to get back to it, but yeah, we'll go there. I'm getting chased now by like 4 different ships, I think. Now right here, I'm going against the wind, and the game is very stuttery, to be honest. It's very choppy. FPS is down into the low 30s. It isn't great. And right here at the dock, FPS is now sitting in the mid to high 20s and the low 30s. Again, very stuttery as well. And obviously in the city, FPS is down into the low 20s and even below it at times. And yeah, overall it's pretty stuttery and very choppy. The game froze. There we go. Oh, it's back. Okay, cool. At least it recovered. So yeah, I think ideally for the Steam Deck, play at a mix of low and medium, or I guess either preset is fine as well, and use FSR at the balanced preset with a 30 FPS cap. And yeah, that's about it guys. That is Skull and Bones on the Steam Deck. I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. This game does run quite well. Again, it's next gen only. It's on PS5 and Series X and S. So the Steam Deck running it is quite impressive. It sucks that it's only on Windows, but hopefully in the future it comes to Steam and runs on the Steam Deck in SteamOS. But yeah, that's about it guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.